Hey guys, this is Abhishek from gadgetstudios.com, and today we are going to do the quick unboxing and full review of Zenfone 4. We have already done a hands-on review of this device and you might have already seen that. So today we are going to go too much in details to actually show you all those things which are relevant to you when you plan to buy this phone. This phone comes with a 4-inch TFT display and decent hardware specification. It comes for 6,000 rupees as far as the MRP is concerned, and again for that price point this is a pretty good value for money. I have been using this device for the last 2 weeks now, and I can say that this device is a pretty affordable budget Android phone which you can buy. And again, it comes from ASUS. ASUS is normally known for laptops, but they have came out with the Zenfone series. All of these Zenfones are actually good in their own price segment. We have reviewed the Zenfone 5 and Zenfone 6 as well, which are also pretty good phones. So let's take a look over this one. As of now, we have the package over there, as you can see, and on the package itself, as far as price is concerned, the price is mentioned as 6,499, which is inclusive all taxes. However, it is available for 6,000 rupees on Flipkart, where you can actually go ahead and buy it. This phone is not available in the retail store, so you won't be able to buy it offline. You will have to buy it from the Flipkart website only. So this is how the box look like. Let me just open the package and show you what we have inside. As far as connectivity is concerned, this is a dual SIM phone, so you can actually use 2 SIM card on this device. However, the first one will support 3G connectivity and the other one will not support, the second one will not support 3G connectivity. But we do have support for Wi-Fi tethering, and 3.5 audio jack is there, Bluetooth 4.0 is there, and you have 5 megapixel camera at the back on this device, which is a pretty good thing. So this is how the package looks like, and the first thing which we get inside the package is the Zenfone 4, which looks good. In terms of the build quality, I would say for this price, the kind of build quality this phone has is actually better than the other phones which we have seen almost at the same price segment. The bezels are slightly thick, but again the display size is 4-inch and it is a TFT display. Although it looks pretty good in terms of the viewing angles to an extent. You can see that the viewing angles are not too great, but still decent for this device. For the kind of price, you might experience certain amount of blackening of the display over there from this angle. However, from this angle it is not bad. This angle it is okay. So you will notice slight amount of discoloration on this device, but don't expect much as far as the price is concerned for this one. So display is slightly on the lower side, but it looks good almost from different angles, but wide viewing angles are again not very great. Taking a look over the build quality, you can see that the build quality is also good. As we already told you, it has matte finish back cover, which again will give you a very good grip. The phone is slightly thicker in terms of dimensions, but again because of the curved back cover, it gives you a very good grip, and this is a very good phone for one-handed usage. You can use this phone with one hand without any issues. I can reach every part of the screen with one hand, so one-handed usage is very good. You have 5 megapixel camera over there, which is also pretty decent in terms of the performance, and you have VGA camera at the front. The front camera is also there, unlike the Moto E where you do not have the front camera. We have touch capacitive buttons which are there at the bottom of the phone on the body, and they do not have backlit LED. You have metallic part over there. Again, this looks like metal. This is not metal. This is again good quality plastic and a very nice finishing they have given to the Zenfone series. So all the Zenfone actually looks the same in terms of the design, and again there are certain amount of differences. Visually, we do have a metallic earpiece below the glass, and we have the VGA camera. On this side we have the power and sleep key and the volume rocker. Both of these are plastic button finished in chrome. They give you good amount of feedback. You have a micro USB port for data syncing and charging over there. On the top you have 3.5mm audio jack. This device have a primary microphone over there, but it does not have secondary microphone, but the overall audio clarity is pretty decent for the price. We do have loudspeaker over there, which is also pretty good in terms of loudness, but again it is not a very loud loudspeaker which you might expect. So let me just remove the back cover and show you the phone from the back side before we take a look over the package contents. So we have just removed the back cover, and the thing which we can see inside is the battery. So the battery, unlike the other ASUS Zenfone, the battery on this one can be removed. Let's check out the power rating of the battery. As far as battery is concerned, the battery is So it is a 1600 milliampere hour battery which we have seen on this one, which is again pretty good for backup. It can give you around 1 day battery backup without much of a problem. Again, with basic and moderate usage, you will get 1 day or more than 1 day battery backup. But if you play games a lot, then in that case it won't give you 1 day of battery backup. You have micro SD memory card slot as well on this device to expand the storage, and we will just confirm whether you can install applications on the SD card. We do have the loudspeaker over there, which is again pretty okay for the price in terms of loudness, what you can expect. So let me just boot up the device again, and till the time it boots up, we will check out the package contents. So let me just turn this thing on, and here we have the other package contents, which includes the warranty card, the user manual for the device. We have this plastic which we can get rid of. We have the charger which comes within the package. The output current from the charger is 1.35 ampere charger, fast charger you can say to an extent. Pretty good to charge this phone much faster than the other regular chargers which we have seen, other 1 ampere chargers which we have seen. So we have the micro USB cable for data syncing and charging, and these are all the things which will come within the package. You also get the IMEI sticker as well. So we will get rid of the package contents for as of now, and we will take a look over the phone now in detail. So taking a look over the phone, here we have the Asus Zenfone 4, and this phone looks good, does not feel heavy at all. It is good enough in terms of the build quality as well, as we already told you, and the weight of the device is around 115 gram, which is again fairly light for a phone like this. The thickness of the device is 11.2 millimeter, which again is slightly more, but the rounded curve back and the matte finish on the back cover is something which gives you a very good grip and a very nice feel when you hold this phone in one hand. It has a 418x800 resolution on this 4-inch display, which gives you a pixel density of around 233 pixels per inch. And even if you take a closer look over the text, you may or may not notice the pixelation, especially depending on what kind of content you are reading. If you are reading a document with large amount of text, you will notice pixelation. Otherwise, you won't notice any pixelation on this device most of the times. So again, this display is smaller as well when the resolution is smaller, so the display pixel density is pretty decent. One thing which is good about this device is that even when this device cost only 6,000 rupees and it is a direct competition to the Redmi 1S, this one has Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection, which is a very good thing. So Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection is there, although the display will get a lot of fingerprints over time, but it won't get scratches that easily, which is good. This is how the UI look like. The UI is again a custom UI which is running on top of Android, and it is giving you a lot of options on lock screen itself. To launch the camera, you can see the phone missed call alerts, you can see the missed messages alerts, and you can see these calendar notifications as well over here directly. This is how you can unlock the phone. So the UI which is running on top of Android is the Zen UI, which they call it, and this UI gives you a lot of options like these widgets and other custom features which it does provide you. So let's take a look over the phone dialer first of all before we take a look further. So this is how the phone dialer look like. It is a custom phone dialer, and again, you do not have the option of making a video call, but you do have a lot of other options. Especially with this phone, you can actually set this number in the block list. You can do a smart language search, you can hide the number for the next call, you can do call recordings as well. So call recording is possible on this device, which is a good thing, and you have a dual SIM manager as well, which allows you to specify the SIM card before you call any number. You can specify any of the 2 SIM cards which you can use on this device. When it comes to the SIM card slot, I think I missed showing you the SIM card slot. Let me just show you that again. So let me just remove the back cover over here and show you the SIM card slot. So we can remove the battery as of now, and the SIM card slot, okay. Yeah, SIM card slots are over here. So the SIM card slot one will accept a micro SIM, and the second one will also accept a micro SIM. Both of them will accept micro SIM inside, so you need to cut your regular size SIM card in case you have a regular size SIM card to use with this phone. Now here we have the messaging application. As you can see on the messaging application, it is a stock Android messaging application, and you do have a QWERTY keyboard which has keys which are slightly smaller in size, but still it is pretty easy to type on this device with these pop-ups which get displayed for the keys which you are typing. You cannot do swipe to type on this device, which is not supported, but again, you can always type in landscape mode in case you face any issues as far as typing is concerned, because the display is slightly smaller, so it might be difficult for people out there to actually type on this device in the portrait mode. These are all the applications which will come pre-installed on this device, which includes a file manager. You also have a FM radio, you have this Omelette chat, which is a third-party application. You also have some weather widgets which allows you to see the weather directly on the home screen which is good enough. And then you have some other features like some Google applications there. You also have a mirror application which allows you to launch the front camera on this device in the mirror mode, so it will be a full screen view and you can take your photos like this. Again, the front camera on this device is not too great, which you can see the quality is again very average, but don't expect much because it is a VGA camera. You do not have tap to focus, autofocus is also not there, but again you can actually see how do you look like with this application. That is the only purpose of this application. You cannot take a selfie once you launch this one, and this is something I would like to correct over here. So apart from that, you do have a sound recorder as well. You also have the functionality of recording voice. When it comes to the widgets, we do have a lot of widgets on this device which are not even Google Android widgets but custom ones which are there on this phone, so which is good. Let's take a look over the settings and see what we have. As far as toggles are concerned, first of all, toggles allows you to do a RAM boost. So you can do a RAM boost like this, and this is part of the UI which is running on top of Android. You have calculator which you can launch. You can launch the audio equalizer as well, so you can actually use the music mode either as a power saving mode, as a normal music mode, and all these things can be done on this device, which is something which is really good. So audio wizard actually allows you to access all these things, including the recording, speech, power saving mode. So you can enable the power saving mode directly by launching the audio wizard, which can be opened through the notification center over here. So we have toggles over there for the owner. So once you tap on owner, the contact for the owner will get displayed. As of now, nothing is being input in this device for that, but you can always enable power saving mode from here. You have support for Miracast, that means wireless display is supported on this device. You have support to toggle, you have the option to toggle the airplane mode. You have Bluetooth over there as well. Let me just go into settings and show you what we have as far as settings are concerned. First of all, I will show you the version of Android. So it is running on Android 4.3, and ASUS has promised to provide KitKat update on this device, and that will be there on this device very soon. You do have the option of updating the version of Android on this device with a system update. That is possible, which is good. And apart from that, let's take a look over the storage scenario. Storage is something which is kind of limited on this device. As you can see, this device has 8 GB of internal storage, which is again not too less, I would say, and the available storage out of 8 GB is going to be 4.61 GB, and you get approximately 3 GB as of now because we have installed a couple of applications, but you will get 4.61 GB on this device as far as storage is concerned. We do have application for the power saver, so you can save power on this device. You also have ultra power saving mode, in which it will disconnect certain applications and basically the network connection, so that you can have more battery backup. The basic calling and messaging will work at that time in ultra power saving mode, but it will give you much more battery backup as compared to the normal power saving mode. So you do have that supported. When it comes to the application scenario, I can give you the information about the RAM. This device has 1 GB of RAM, which is kind of standard these days, and out of 1 GB of RAM, approximately 400 MB or 401 MB of RAM is being used, and 578 MB is free. And the device is fairly responsive. I do not notice any lag on the device as far as the usage is concerned or the UI is concerned. The UI has been customized on this device to make it smoother to run on this device pretty smoothly, which is very good. We do have support for GPS navigation as well on this device. With the help of location access, you can enable that and you can use GPS navigation. You also have support for tethering as well. You can create a portable Wi-Fi hotspot on this device and share the 3G internet. You have support for USB tethering, and Bluetooth tethering is also supported. When it comes to wireless display is already supported. As we already told you, we do have a dual SIM manager as well, with which you can actually specify which SIM card you would like to use for data, and another one you can use for calling. All this is something which you can do in case you would like to do that. You do have security information over there. Again, this option allows you to encrypt the phone with a PIN, and all these features which are normally being provided in the flagship phones are available. You also have the option of quick access. You can launch application directly from the lock screen, which is possible as of now. As you might have seen, there was the symbol for phone dialer and the messaging, so it is possible. You can also launch camera directly using the volume key, and you can do a swipe to launch from the left to the right to launch the camera. So if you do it like this, if you enable this option on the lock screen, you can launch the camera, and you can launch camera directly by double clicking the volume button on this device, so that the camera gets launched directly from the lock screen. I can demo you that. So in case you would like to launch camera quickly on this device, you can just double tap and it should launch the camera. So here we have the camera UI on this device. The 5 megapixel camera does have autofocus and it also have tap to focus, so it can focus the specific object which is there in the center once you tap, and it can take the photos quickly as well. Let me just take this photo again without the artificial light, and let me just show you both of these photos one by one so that you can get an idea about the overall picture clarity you can expect from the rear camera, which is a 5 megapixel camera on this phone. So this device can give you a pretty good quality of photos, especially if you have artificial light or natural light. As you can see, the amount of details I can see on this photo and the color production is pretty good, I would say. When it comes to the other one which we have taken without the artificial light, this one does not show that amount of details, but again the color production and the overall picture is looking pretty good, especially with the kind of light we have. So performance of this device as far as camera is concerned is pretty good, much better than the Moto E which you might have seen earlier. Taking a look over the front camera, I can show you the front camera view as well. So this is how the front camera look like. The front camera is VGA. Don't expect much from this front camera. It can do a very average quality of video chat, and so there is a slight amount of lag on the display of the phone when I basically use the front camera. Let me just show you the resolution for the rear camera at which you can take photos. So at the resolution of the rear camera, when it comes to the image quality, you can set it to fine. Image quality standard as of now, and you do have the option of checking out the camera resolution. So it is a 4 megapixel photo it can take at 16:9. If you take 5 megapixel photos, that will be 4:3. And then you have the video option over there. It can record high definition both at 720p as well as at 1080p, which is a very good thing. And then we have other options over there for the camera. We do have these different kind of modes, filters you can actually see. And then when it comes to the modes, you have a lot of mode, including HDR mode, you have a time rewind mode, night shot mode, selfie mode is also there, and you do have a GIF animation mode as well, and you also have miniature mode over there. So all these different kind of photo modes are supported. When it comes to video, we do have support for time-lapse video, which you can record from this device. Such a budget Android phone, you can record time-lapse interval videos, which is good. So in all, this camera on this device is a pretty good camera, and you can actually get much better photos as compared to the other devices which we have seen in the same price segment. Taking a look over the application, we do have a lot of applications which are coming pre-installed. We also have web storage which comes from ASUS, so you get a free web storage from ASUS. So here we have got the score for benchmark on AnTuTu, and we have got a score of 1866651, which is a pretty decent score, and this device is pretty good in day-to-day performance and usage as well. Let me just show you the hardware configuration of the phone in detail. So we have the system information over there. The model number of the device is ASUS_T00i. You have dual core 1.2 GHz processor on this device, which is clocked at 1.2 GHz. It is a Intel Atom CPU which we have on this one, and Z2520 is the CPU model. When we talk about the display, it is 418/800. The GPU which is there on the device is PowerVR STX 544MP, and this GPU is capable of playing high definition games as well to an extent, provided you have storage for the same on the SD card. Although you on the SD card or on the phone memory, because you can install applications on the SD card, and I can just show you that information. We have accelerometer sensor, proximity sensor. We do not have a gravity sensor on this device, and we will see how does it handle the Temple Run OZ in that case. Before we go ahead and show you the benchmark when it comes to the gaming, let me just show you the storage options. So we have some ASUS customized settings over there which allows you to install application directly on the SD card. So here we have the preferred storage location as external SD card. Once you insert an SD card, you can select this option, and then you can install applications on the SD card, which is possible. The score which we have got on Ninamark is 59.0 FPS, which is again a pretty good score. Again, this device is capable of running high definition games as well, and we have ran games like Frontline Commando D-Day, Blood and Glory as well. As of now, just to show you the casual gaming performance of this device, we are going to run Temple Run OZ on this one, so that you can find out how does this device actually handle this game when even it does not have the gravity sensor. You can play this game on this device. So now we are playing this game called Temple Run OZ, and I can see the graphics of the games are being rendered fine. Again, I can see slight amount of frame drops which are happening. when I play this game, but the game is playable, and in terms of graphics I do not notice much issue. Touchscreen is also responsive. Let me just turn the volume to full. So the loudspeaker is again not very loud when I play this game in terms of the sound, but it is okay for the price, and you can play this game without any issues on this device. As you can see, playing some high definition games is possible on this device, but there will be frame drops and graphic lag which you might notice when you play those games. So that's all from us as far as the quick unboxing and full review of the ASUS ZenFone 4. In case you have any questions, you can leave your questions in the comment section below. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.